G'day traders, welcome to a wrap up of Wednesday, December 7th. Just bring up a daily chart here. So basically on the dailies, when we had that pretty major sell-off earlier on in the month, and then for the last couple of weeks we've been heading the market up, and then for the last couple of days very much going sideways or sideways range as the market starts to stall a little bit. So at these kind of point here, we're looking for either the market to push up higher and have a go at these previous month's highs, or at some stage, definitely there's a pullback as an option as these buyers, start to take some of their profit and create a sell-off. So that's the scenario that we've been approaching each day with, and pretty much every day this week we've had a bit of an undecided bias. Let the market tell us what it wants to do, and then go with the morning price action. Okay, but looking at the pre-market here, you can see we had a bit of a sell-off. By the time we opened the market, which was here, the market had sold off quite a bit, so I thought there was definitely an option for the market to head down in the morning. So at this stage here, we started to head down. When it had a pullback here, it's looking for a bit of a bigger pullback, say up 5-6 points, up around 12.52, get some pressure, and then start to push down and look for a 5-minute sell and look to come down and test these lows or break these lows. In the end, that didn't eventuate. And once it broken through here and started to turn back to the upside, it looked like maybe the sellers weren't going to come in and that buyers were going to have a go. All the 5-minute charts was pointing to the upside round about this point as well. And also got yesterday's close up here acting as a bit of an attraction or as a magnet to send the market up. Okay, so once the market come up, definitely got to keep in mind that yesterday's close and head towards that. At this stage here, we had a pullback, so there's a power point sitting down around here. So I thought this had a lot of value to try and catch that pullback and move up to the upside. In the end, it didn't quite pull back enough as it did up here, so once it pushed again, look for another pullback option here. In the end, it didn't eventuate. But with these power point trades, just to show you something, the way I've been approaching them lately, if you go down 1, 2, 3.5, so there would have been a power point trade just here. Okay, so as the market's pulling back, rather than just sitting here on the limit order, a bit like a sitting duck, if the market all of a sudden has quite a bit of a sell-off, you're going to be stopped out quite quickly. So you want to wait till the market comes down, have a look what the other indices are doing. And what I've been doing is coming down to this area, going across and going, okay, at the same level, the market at 12.44 was at this point here, okay, and then going over and finding that same 12.44 candle on all the other charts and making a bit of a mark of that area. And then I look, at the same time as this market's pulling back, what are the other markets doing in regards to this same level? And if you see the other markets pushing down through this level quite heavily and aggressively, that might indicate to leave this area alone. Or if you're seeing the other markets not pulling back quite as hard, which is the ideal situation, more likely that the buyers are going to come in that way, and then that's when you want to look at getting on these power points in that kind of situation. Okay. So in the end, we kept on pushing higher. Eventually the market did come up here and touch yesterday's close. And the market started to head sideways. A bit of a pullback here on the 5-minute chart and then pushed up. At this stage here, once the market did push up on the 5-minute charts, it's sitting right at the highs, so very tough to buy at the highs. It's pushed up through this yellow. Then gone sideways through lunch. Once we got out of lunch, it started to have a pullback again. So this, now that we're above this yesterday's close, it's very much going to act as a support area, and definitely an area to start looking at these pullbacks again, as it looks like the markets do want to start heading up, and the buyers have been around pretty much most of the day. So once again, this purple power point had a bit of value, so you want to sit back and watch and look at how aggressively it starts to pull back. This pullback here area is a bit of an indication. Look at the other indices and go see how heavily it starts to pull back past this area, and to give you an indication of whether you want to get on this purple or not. So it looked like it had quite a bit of value, and then in the end it's broken down again and came down to this second. So if you went on the first power point, once again the second power point also has quite a bit of value. After quite a decent uptrend, quite often the second ones often work better anyway, because it's going to take a bit more of a release of that pressure after having all these buyers. Okay, and then it pushed up 3 points from that particular power point. Once it pulled up there, around this area here, we started to get a 5-minute signal, so a 5-minute buy came up here. But by this stage now, because you can see the market starting, the price action's really starting to turn down, get a downwards feel about it. The moving average was starting to point down, so this area would be more taken as a fade. But it was a bit of a scrappy area, a tough one to take. Thought that even though the market action did look down, there was a possibility that the buyers could keep coming in and push higher. But officially the signal was saying fade, meaning that you want to sell the market. So 5-minute sell did come up, but not necessarily the best area. Wanted to wait a bit more and see what the market wanted to do. And then from there in the afternoon, once we hit 3 o'clock, there was some major news coming out about some European financial information. So from there, I think that's what's really pushed the market up here. So at this stage here, we could have been looking like we're going to have a bit of a sell-off, or maybe the market was going to go up. Who knows? But news has definitely then, from this point here, driven the market up and driven it up really heavily. And you can see it's viciously pushed up through all those power points there till the end of the day, and very much quite difficult to get on anything after that announcement came out. I'm just looking at the 5-minute trades. So like I said earlier in the morning, wanted a bit more of a pullback here. Can you see the moving averages clearly pointing down? So a bit more of a pullback up here. So that would have brought that 5-minute sell up a bit higher and give us an opportunity to get on it. But in the end, the 5-minute sell came up right near the lows. So it's not going to come up there because it's too close to the lows. You can see then the predictives cross round to the upside. So from here, we're looking to buy, and that's where we had a couple of these pullbacks and push up to the yesterday's close area. So it's all buyers up through here. Then a bit of a pullback here. That was the area right on about lunchtime, but in the end we didn't have quite enough of a pullback once again to really get on the buy side of things. We wanted the market to maybe pull back a little bit lower before we look to buy and head the market up. And then from there, so this is getting through lunchtime, we're pushing lower. This is where that 5-minute came up. It was a bit more of a fade, so it was a buy signal, but you can see here the moving average is starting to point down. So it should be really starting to look with some sellers here. And around this area I thought had a little bit of value to sell off as well. You can see the moving average is pointing down. This stage is predictive. After seeing this upside fail, the predictive is crossing down as well. And look for the market head down this area here, which I thought maybe a sell-off was starting to come, but then as I said, like that news came out around about 3 and that turned the market around on the spot, and then from there we headed straight back up. So definitely a few opportunities for the day, but overall the markets haven't been moving around really aggressively, but still we haven't got these ridiculously slow markets which we sometimes see, and definitely some opportunities are presenting themselves each day. Righto, that's a wrap up.